What's up, everybody? Welcome into today's NFL Pregame Show. And once again, after a long hiatus where I missed him greatly, but I won't tell him that to his face, ladies and gentlemen, Sterls for the girls. I think we need a round of applause for having him back. How was do I call it a birthday celebration? I mean, the whole thing was kind of a birthday celebration, right? In Vegas, just a celebration. Okay. How was Vegas? How's Vegas, boy? Now, what's your poison out there? What's your trouble, man? Trouble, man, is what it is. Yeah, because when it's going great, when it's going right, it's going right, right? I mean, when you're on a heater, it's a whole different thing. Now, now average is what, like 3 or 4? So you had the whole table cheering you, is what you're saying, pretty much. Well, good, man. Now here's the real question, because we had talked about you possibly coming on Sunday morning. So, what was her name, and how long did she stay with you in the bed before you decided I'm not getting up to do the NFL pregame show? No, no, no. You're gonna tell me. Maybe not here, but you're gonna tell me. So just make peace with that. Just make peace with that.
Gentleman doesn't put out his dirty laundry.
You're right, mental health guy. He didn't have audio. Well, whatever. See, you didn't even have to tell anybody. It was just me. Just me talking shit to you.
But it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
Man, we used to have this designated day that you and I would go kick it.
Yeah, back in the day, right?
I know. Look where we are now.
But you still go.
Well, we'll see. Uh, but that doesn't mean I don't. We got to kick it at some point.
Yes, we need to. We
Mental
need to get
health,
Dave too.
mental health guy chimes in, and there's going to be a lot of this as people filter in and out because I haven't had a stream since the Bills peed down their leg in Orchard Park on Monday. But he says Josh Allen has led the NFL in interceptions the past 6 years. Josh Allen agenda.
Well,
He
it's
has said
propaganda.
he has said that Josh Allen and Justin Herbert aren't any good.
Well, that's funny because he's also missing the part where it says Josh Allen has the most touchdowns of any player in the league the past 6 years. So, if you're a Bills fan, like I get, some of those turnovers are makes you mad, but at the same time, he's also making plays that, only one or two other quarterbacks in the league can make. So I'll live with some of those stupid interceptions.
Some,
Um, yeah, right. I
some.
mean, I don't really ever really get mad when Josh throws an interception. I mean, I did in the Jets game, but for the most part, like I don't really get irritated.
Um, it just depends on the interception. Like everything in the
Yeah,
world right now, everybody wants it to be black and white. Either everybody's
sure.
trash or everybody's great, or you know what I mean. And it's not. Like there are interceptions that are total trash, and that he needs to do better on, and then there are some that it's just like I don't know. I mean, believe what you want to believe,
Yep.
but I'll tell you this: you can say whatever you want about Josh Allen as a quarterback. Um, the people who are in the game right now there are 27, 26 NFL GMs who, in a heartbeat, would pick up the phone and trade for him. So,
Absolutely. And I want to know who's elite according to mental health guy. Like who in his opinion is elite?
I mean, the easiest one to go to is Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, I think we can all
Josh
agree.
Allen statistically is having a better year than him right now.
I know, but I don't think there's any question who's elite.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Milkman, well, what's up? He's the top receiver is leading the NFL in targets and I believe in yards too. Oh no, I think it's still Tyreek Hill for yards. Maybe
I
it was
can get that
catches.
for you.
Yeah,
I can get that for you
that's what
while you
happened to Diggs being a top wide receiver. So yes,
what is the hold on. What I mean, I get like as fans and people who are not Bills fans. But like where's all this slander with the Bills lately? God dang. So Stephon Diggs currently is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 6th in NFL in receiving yards. He is second he's tied for first in receptions.
yeah,
Uh
yeah. The non-elite receiver who's not in the top 10 according to Milkman is leading the NFL in receptions right now.
you know who leads the league in catch percentage? Dalton Kincaid leads the league in catch percentage with
No,
88.
we're gonna have to talk about him
0.24.
too. We're gonna have to
Yes,
talk
we
about
are.
him too.
Man, this might have to turn into a Bills show. God
I
dang.
mean, and you can find that with Sterls. Sterls, you want to plug your shit right here? Go ahead.
Yeah, my show is called Intentional Groundings. You can find me on Buffalo Rumblings. So you go Buffalo Rumblings vidcast feed on YouTube, or you can find me Intentional Grounding with Buffalo Rumblings wherever you get your podcast, where I talk Bills every single week after every game. Yeah,
Yeah. And listen, I need to unload about the Bills. I told you that. I texted you and told you that. I
yeah.
need to unload about the Bills, and not probably in the way that you think. But
I like to hear it.
but that'll be for when we start talking about the Bills game. You know what I mean? Which is an afternoon game and towards the end of our slate here. So if you're not going to tell us, what her name was, then then we're just going to have to dive right into it.
I can't air that live. I
So there
can't do
was.
that live.
So then you're confirming that there was somebody.
Well, there's always somebody.
Always.
Always.
I mean, listen. Even with your confidence, I know that's not true.
Come on now.
You
know better.
No, you be real. Be real right now.
You know better.
Be real right now.
You know better.
Come on. I'm gonna need you to be real before we continue here.
Okay. You know better.
Really, you gonna stick with this?
Oh yeah, hardcore.
You gotta act like you've never come to that bar by yourself.
Oh well, yeah, but
Okay.
I have. But there's always some. I mean, the possibility,
right.
or
No,
I could.
just hey, as long as we're there, you know what I mean. Gab's coming in hot too. Gabs, what's up? Colts are ahead of the Bills in the standings in mid-November. LOL. Yeah, they are. 100%.
Man, the more Bills. I mean, look.
Dude, they want my head because I'm a Bills fan. So that's fun. That's fun. You know what that means? Well, first of all, and Gabs, this doesn't apply to you because I know you're in Brazil, but it's Americans, dude. Like, they want to root for the downfall. Remember 2 years ago when we were everybody's darling?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wanted to root for the fun Josh Allen and, oh, look at how he plays and he's my guy and blah, blah, blah. This is what America does. They want to root for your downfall. Okay.
Yep.
Guess what, Sterls? I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Bills win their last 7 games, go 12-5, and are the 2 seed, they're going to be everybody's favorite team. Everybody's picked to win the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, everyone's going to be in love with them. They're going to want them to dethrone the Chiefs because that's how America is. They want to see you crash, and then they'll root for you to come back up, but they want to see you crash.
There's a comment by Milkman, and I'm not trying to be cynical, but this shows that people don't watch football. Changing the offensive coordinator isn't going to change the fact that he throws picks. Like there's so much more context involved when you say throw picks. You scheme, you have to account for scheme, you have to account for down in situation. I mean, there's so many variables that you look at, and like that's not the take. Like listening to ESPN First Take and these guys who don't watch all 22 and they just say stuff out of their ass. That's not reality. I'm just telling you right now. So you can say what you want, but I bet you rather have Josh Allen as your quarterback over the guy you like the most. I bet you like that.
The When a goalie gets pulled in hockey, it's not always because the goalie is bad. Sometimes it's because everybody around him is playing like dog shit. And you know what you need to do? You need to wake them all up. So you
He
pull the
said Brock
goalie to
Purdy.
make a point. He's going to tell you
Brock
that.
Purdy.
Milkman's
Brock
just a troll.
Purdy.
Don't let him get to you. Milkman's just a troll. So listen, was Ken Dorsey part of the problem? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I've not been a fan of Ken Dorsey since the beginning of the year. I also, though, think that it takes time to grow as an NFL play caller. And, I don't think Ken Dorsey necessarily should have had that job, to be honest with you, to be completely honest with you right off the bat. So is firing Ken Dorsey going to fix everything? No. Is it a wake-up call? Because like a bunch of people have said, you're not benching Josh Allen and you're not trading him. So what are you going to do to wake everybody up? And that's what you can do. Brock Purdy, he's not leading the NFL in picks. Let's talk about Brock Purdy for a second. Did you know that your coach, Kyle Shanahan, after he got his ass kicked on Monday Night Football by Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, decided that he was going to trade the farm to move up to get Trey Lance because he wanted a guy that was big and athletic and could create and could put the ball into tiny windows. And that's why you have Trey Lance? Did you know that he's said that out loud in a press conference? So
No.
tell me more about Brock Purdy, because if there's anybody in the league that wants Josh Allen on their team, guess who it is? Kyle fucking Shanahan, your head coach.
Right?
So just like, careful, because I don't know if you don't pay enough attention in the NFL to know, but we got to get through all these comments. People want to throw. I mean, we will get to picking the games, but you guys want to throw stones, go ahead. Bills offense looks like they need to drive the ball 75 yards every drive. Defense doesn't take away the ball either. Listen,
You're right about the defense.
no, but I think given the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, Sterls, that the defense has played really well. Really well.
Considering.
Not that they've played great in terms of they've been a better defense overall, especially in most more recent years. But I think the defense has played really well, and that's why the offense has had a chance to win it in all of these games. Because a defense that is beleaguered and injured still is getting the job done for the most part.
Yeah, I'm as far as the Bills defense goes, I'm a little disappointed with the play calling on the defense. These pressure packages on third down, sending the house, in inopportune times. I don't like that.
I didn't mind it the first time. You catch them off guard, you get your sack. I mean, it was a good call the first time.
Why do this again?
When they were lined up in that the second time against Russell Wilson, I was like, oh, they're backing out of this. There's no way that he calls 2-0 blitzes on back-to-back plays. Like, what a better way to tell the quarterback, hey, here's exactly what's going to happen. Here's what you need to do. And you paid for it. 6 years in a row. What is he talking about? It was Milkman had said that he leads the NFL in picks. He also has the most touchdowns over that time span. That's why we're talking about 6 years in a row. Let's see. It's never Herbert or Allen's fault. It always goes back to the coaching. Most protection in the NFL. That's not true. It's just you're not going to get rid of that guy. And I've said this about college coaches a few times. Texas A&M goes and fires Jimbo Fisher. Okay, great. He's kind of been dog shit. He loses 4 or 5 games every year. Tell me who you're going to go get that's better. Tell me who you're going to go get that's better. Now, Texas A&M might be able to find somebody better than Jimbo, but that's tough to do. The nice thing about coaches is it can just be about money. You can just dangle a whole bunch of money in front of a guy and steal him away from somewhere. Guess what you can't do in the NFL? You can't just dangle a bunch of money in front of a quarterback and get them to come play for your franchise. It's not how it works. So you're never going to get rid of Herbert. You're never going to get rid of Allen. Yes, sometimes you'll need to get rid of the coaching to change things because you have to change something that will affect the entire team, that will affect that quarterback. You're not getting rid of Herbert or Allen. You'd be stupid to do it.
I don't even know why we're putting Justin Herbert in this conversation, to be honest. Josh Allen is a tier above Justin Herbert, if you ask me.
But my point is, it's true even of that tier below, Sterls. Like, you're not getting rid of Justin Herbert.
No,
right?
I mean, it's a asinine comment. We're even having this conversation. Like, why would you even? There's 31 other franchises. If I said, hey, Josh Allen's a free agent, 31 other teams be calling about Josh Allen outside of the Chiefs.
Chiefs, I think the Eagles would consider it.
Absolutely.
People think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think the Eagles would consider it. Trying to think who wouldn't at this point.
You won't be able to find another franchise outside of the Chiefs.
The Bengals. I mean,
he can't stay healthy. How many times has he been injured in his career?
but credit where credit's due. I mean, Burrow is on that level, but in terms
I still think Josh Allen's a better quarterback, but you put Jamar Chase, T. Higgins with Josh Allen. Didn't you tell me what happens?
I mean, I get your point there. I take your point. I don't know that I agree with you, but I take your point. Let's see. So I'm reading down these comments. Milkman trolling. Gab said the Bills are one of the best offenses in the league. Milkman said really they fired their offensive coordinator and they're the best, being serious. I can name better offenses than theirs. Gab says they're just unlucky. Top 3 in EPA per play, and that's part of what I was going to get to. Should I just unload on my whole thing right now since we're just doing?
You might as well.
Yeah, all right. Everybody chill the fuck out. Okay? Everybody chill the fuck out. Like, this is not in defense of Dorsey, and it's not in defense of how they played. The Bills got what they deserved on Monday night. And they have a couple different times this year because they've been playing with their food in the Jets game.
Absolutely.
In the Patriots game. On Monday Night Football. They've been playing with their food. They haven't for 1 second asserted themselves as the dominant team. When they have, you watch them beat the Dolphins by 30 fucking points. Okay? At no point, however, watching those games, and especially on Monday night, did anybody who knows anything about football watch that game and think the Broncos were the better team? Not once.
No.
There wasn't a single moment where anybody watching that game, if they knew football or didn't know football, there wasn't a single moment that they felt like the Broncos were the better team. And the same thing can be said about the Patriots game, and the same thing can be said even about the Jaguars game, okay? And the same thing can be said about the Jets game. So I'm not here making excuses for them. I'm really not. They got what they deserved. But if you don't still think that team is one of the best teams in the NFL, I don't know what you're watching. And what I can tell you is it's going to be real difficult with a new play caller and all the injuries that they have to crawl back to the top of the AFC. But guess what? They don't have to crawl back to the top of the AFC. They have to be the 7th best team in the AFC. And I think they can get their way back there with no Deshaun Watson, with no Joe Burrow, with an injured Mark Andrews. Yes, I think they can be one of the top 7 teams in the AFC. And I just want you to tell me, if they get there, are you raising your hand for your team to play us in the first round of the playoffs? Because I don't think you are. I don't think you are. So if everybody wants to to start jumping on graves right now, let them. Do you know what I did this week? I went and put money down on the Bills to win the AFC, and I went and I put money down on the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. That's bold.
The AFC is wide open right now.
That's bold.
The AFC is wide open right now. And Sterls, you and I have the advantage of living in a town where they have a player who's unlike any player that we've ever seen before in the sport. His name is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season last year, the Nuggets were playing like complete dog shit. Yes, it was a bit different scenario because they had already established they were the 1 seed, right? Look at him. He's repping right now. They were playing like complete dog shit at the end of the year. And then they got into the playoffs. And then they got into the playoffs, and the discussion was, are they going to be able to flip a switch and be that team again? And you know what they did? They went 16-4, and they absolutely trounced everybody, and they won their first title.
And they swept the Lakers.
So if you want to dance on the grave of the Buffalo Bills mid-season when they're 5-5, if you've been watching the games, dance away. But don't come back to me when Sterls and I are sitting here doing a Super Bowl preview show and it's live from Las Vegas because we're both there. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's funny because we've seen teams like the Patriots go through these lulls. I mean, a lot of good teams. This is just growing pains of a good team. They got stuff to figure out. They got some flaws. Don't get me wrong. Things haven't, I mean, the NFL is a sport where the margin of victory is 3 points every single week. I mean, the parity is just insane. So, yeah, are they a perfect team? No. Are they meeting our expectations that we had before the season? No, absolutely not. But to sit here and say that they're trash and they're just, not going to do anything and whatever, I think you need to adjust that. Also, a couple years ago, the Bills were 7-6. Remember that?
Yep.
Loss of the Bucks in overtime, 7-6. What'd they do? AFC Championship. So I'm not saying, that's easily replicatable, but the Bills have the pieces in place to do it. I mean, like you mentioned, the great who's injured in the AFC? Burrow's gone, right? Deshaun Watson is gone. They're on the backup quarterback. Who else is on there?
Anthony Richard. If you're talking about the teams, the Bills that have to crawl over, and due respect, Gabs, but if you're talking about the teams the Bills have to crawl over to make a playoff spot, there's nothing daunting there. There's nothing daunting there. Pulling it
Here
up
we go.
right now.
Sure, here we go. So the Chiefs have their starting quarterback. The Ravens have their starting quarterback. The Jaguars have their starting quarterback, which he isn't playing very well. The Dolphins have Tua. Okay, so at the 5 spot, you got the Steelers. Their quarterback's trash. The 6th spot is the Browns, trash. Quarterback I'm talking about. You got in the 7th spot, you got the Texans. CJ Stroud's playing better, but he's not better than Josh Allen. 8, trash with Colts. 9, the Vegas Raiders. They're not going to do anything. And at 10, you got the Bengals, who now have a backup quarterback. So miss me with this stuff. The Bills can't make a run. By the way, the Bills are only 3 games out of first place.
That's
in the
other
conference.
thing, and that's what I was trying to say.
And
before.
they play the Chiefs.
The Chiefs have 2 losses already, and the Bills play them. And I'm not saying the Bills are going to catch them, but there's 4 teams that you're kind of pretty sure are going to make the playoffs right now: Ravens, Jacksonville, Miami, and Kansas City. And guess what? They all have at least 2 losses. Kansas City's got 2. Baltimore, Jacksonville, and Miami all have 3. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried about the Bills getting into the playoffs. And if the Bills get into the playoffs, if it's Bills, the Ravens right now are the 2 seed. If the Bills get in as the 7 seed and it's Bills Ravens in Baltimore, I bet you the Bills are favored in that game.
Yeah. It's not crazy. Oh, and by the way, they lost Mark Andrews, big part of their offense.
Yep.
But the Bills have the second best point differential in the conference behind the Ravens,
I
and a much difficult schedule
listen.
than what the
There's
Ravens have had so far. So I
I
don't want to hear it.
I don't know why I'm feeling very hockey today, but apparently I am. There's a thing that hockey people talk about that's called puck luck, and your team can be good. You can get good scoring chances, and you can just have bad luck. It happens. The Bills have had bad luck with turnovers. And guess what? The Broncos needed every one of those 4 turnovers to beat them. If the
Yep.
Bill if Dalton Kincaid holds on to that football going down for the final one of the final drives in Cincinnati, the Bills tie that game. Like I can go through and just they've had bad puck luck. And that's partially their fault. That ball can't go off Gabe Davis's hands and get intercepted. He's got to fucking catch it. Okay? So I'm not making excuses for them. But what I'm telling you is if you're looking at it with a discerning eye and you want to bet the rest of the season, if you want to bet where people are going to end up, the chances that their turnover luck continues to be as bad as it has been through the first 10 games, if that's what you're betting on, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Discussion over.
Right now, the Bills are going to be the 7th seed in the playoffs when they have to play the defending Super Bowl champs and best team in the NFC back to back. Yeah, I mean, listen, they play the 2 Super Bowl contenders and favorites the next 2 weeks after this. So I hear you, but I don't think you're going to see any fucking 10-point spreads there. I don't think you're
going to
one
in that stretch.
Yeah,
Go 2-1, and I'm happy.
I don't think you're going to see any touchdown spreads in there. And my guess is I bet you believe that Vegas knows better than you do. So I don't know. Okay, let's start going through these games. We spent a ton of time on that, but everybody wanted to come for my head, so here we are. All right, we kick it off today with Steelers and Browns. Steelers getting 1.5. This is such a hard game for me. I still don't believe the Steelers are good. I just don't. I think Kenny Pickett's okay. I said on my radio show, I don't know if Kenny Pickett has a Kenny Pickett problem or Kenny Pickett has a Matt Canada problem. And we won't be able to find that out until the two of them split up. But somehow the Steelers keep finding ways to win games against the Browns team who doesn't have Deshaun Watson, and that might be a good thing for them.
Right.
That might be a good thing for him. Maybe PJ Walker is better at this than they are. Maybe Dorian Thompson-Robinson is better at this than he is. And I don't know. Like, I think DTR is starting today. I don't know as they move forward who is going to be the starter. Yeah, I know. So DTR is going to start today. But you can flip those guys so easily if one of them is playing poorly. You know what I mean? Like, if DTR looks like total shit, then you bring in PJ Walker. And guess what? All you have to do is score 20 points with that defense. You know what I mean? So I don't know. 2 6-3 teams, and this is a really hard one to diagnose for me, Sterls.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Browns at home with this one. That defense is legit. I think they have the horses up front to really limit what the Steelers like to do. They want to get the ground game going. Najee Harris and Warren, right? They don't have the receivers. They don't really throw the ball very well. And when you talk about luck, they can't just. How much luck can you get? Like the Steelers have had a ton of luck this season. I don't see that happening all the time. I don't think it's going to happen this week. I think, if you're the Browns, get the game going, run the ball and just keep, don't make mistakes and you win this game. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult. Vegas knows something, obviously, because they're favorite here, but I put my money on the Browns in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they say home advantage is more like 2.5 now than 3, and the Browns are favored by 1.5. So maybe Vegas thinks the Steelers are just a little bit better.
Right.
But it's basically a pick 'em, and you can't have the spread be the same as the pick 'em which is why when you look at the money line, Steelers are plus 110, Browns minus 130. You talked me into it. I'll take the Browns. Man, the Steelers just every couple of years they just get stupid lucky and just find their way to a good record and a good playoff position, and feels like this is going to be one of those years. All right, Bears and Lions.
Bears.
Bears getting 7.5 points going up to Detroit.
With Justin Fields playing, by the way.
Justin Fields is playing. 7.5 is a lot of points. And every time I've started to believe in the Lions, I've ended up back here with y'all. I just don't know. Don't know what to do with them. Side pick, our guy Pat, who sits with me for the games as well, picked the over 47.5. He liked that a lot. God, do I want to lay 7.5? Yeah, I'm going to lay 7.5.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to take the Lions. I think the defensive line for the Bears has gotten better as the year goes on, but it was abysmal to start, so that means like it's still not very good. And I think the Lions are just going to ram it down their fucking throat today.
And that run game looked real good against the Chargers last week, by the way.
Sure did. One of the best in the league, no doubt. So I'll take the Lions and I'll lay the 7.5. Maybe Fields with a couple picks in his rusty debut. All right, Chargers, Packers. West going east with an 11 o'clock start. Always something I like to point out. Chargers -3 versus the Packers. Man, home dog getting a whole field goal is certainly enticing. Can you talk yourself into the Packers?
Nope. I'm just not going to do that. I like what I saw from the Chargers offense last week. Herbert had really good command. They made some plays. The Packers, to me, man, they're not good. They're not ready. Jordan Love is still inconsistent. You don't really know what you're going to get from their run game. So their offense is suspect at times. So, I got to go, even though the Chargers are traveling east on this game, I got to go with the Chargers on this one. So, I'll take the, what is it, -3 for the Chargers? I'll
-3,
take
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're laying 3. God, I hate doing that with a West Coast team going east, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'll take the Chargers. I'll lay the points. I just think that Packers team is one of the worst in the league. I think they're already done with Jordan Love. And I think they kind of ran up the white flag at the trade deadline, and I think their players kind of felt it. So
that's a really good point to mention because chemistry matters, right? Morale matters. I know people think that it's one of those, just fucking shut up and play, but that stuff, man, the psychology of the game from a player perspective is important too.
Well, and people talk about there's a lot of mention of culture and momentum and those kinds of things. And really what all of that is code word for is belief. And having been here for the Tebow years, and I hate to invoke that name more than anything, but having been here for the Tebow years, listen, man, that year they made the playoffs, that team just believed that if they kept it close, something stupid was going to happen and they were going to win that game. And you know what? A lot of times it did. And so part of it is just believing that you can win. It changes people. And a great point of that is our next game. Raiders, 5-5, 2-game winning streak. You want to know why that is? Because they believed. They were happier. Like, they just believed they were better off without Josh McDaniels. You're not having all-team meetings about getting rid of Antonio Pierce. And so whether it was Devontae Adams starting to believe again in the fact that he was making. Did you hear what they said about Josh Jacobs? Like he said that he was like, I didn't know if I was going to be here next year. I didn't think they really wanted me, all this kind of stuff. Now all of a sudden Antonio Pierce goes to him and is like, we're going to hammer you. Like you are going to get the ball over and over again, and we are going to make you the heart and soul of this offense. And look, man, look what they did. So I'll take the Raiders plus 14 points. You know what my rule is. Don't tell an NFL team they're 2 scores worse than another NFL team.
Yeah.
That has bit me in recent weeks, but I'm sticking with it.
I know, and I subscribe to it so much so that I'm going to take the Raiders with the plus 14.
2 full touchdowns, bro.
The Dolphins are coming off a bye week as well, so we got to see what this team looks like coming off a bye. The Dolphins don't have a good run defense, and the heartbeat of the Vegas Raiders is they're going to pound the football, right? So, and we also know that the Dolphins, from a pass defense perspective, they got Jalen Ramsey back, but you still got to guard Devontae Adams, and he's still a dog. So, I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to win, but 14 points, give me those points.
Yeah, I mean 2 touchdowns. Because even both teams want to run this ball, and I know that the Dolphins' offense is fun and flashy and scores a lot of points, but that offense is based on running the football. So, right. I mean, 14 points in a game that's going to be real short because both teams want to pound the rock. That's a lot. That's 2 whole possessions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank God it's not a 10-point spread today. Giants. I took the Giants last week because of my rule. That didn't go great. Okay. Giants getting 8.5 as they head down to Washington to take on the Commanders. I think the Commanders are a sneaky underrated team right now. Like they're 4-6. I don't think they're great, but I mean I think they're going to beat Tommy DeVito. And I don't mind laying over a touchdown. DeVito. I really don't mind laying over a touchdown for them to do that. So give me the Commanders minus the 8.5.
Oof. Yeah, Tommy DeVito. I think that says it all right there.
You know what it says? Because I was waiting for they called Carson Wentz. You know what it says? They want a quarterback. They want a quarterback in the draft.
You know who leads the league in passing right now? Sam Howell. He's number 1 in passing yards. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, they're going to throw the ball all over the place today. And while we're at it, I definitely wanted to take a look at where the Giants rank in terms of their pass defense. Because I think in this game it's important. So right now, the Giants are toward the bottom third of the league. Now, they give up 368.5 yards total between run and the pass, but they give up 237 yards through the air, okay? That's, from league standard, that's pretty bad. Right now, that would place them also toward the bottom of the league there. So, listen, I think Sam Howell is a great bet there. To really kind of carve these guys up. I mean, the Giants is another team that's riddled with injuries and lack of talent in the back end. So give me the Commanders here.
Yeah, Commanders minus 8.5 feels pretty easy here. And you wonder if Vegas wishes that they could make that more, could justify making that more, or if they got a gotcha moment for us all right here. Because this feels like a game that everybody's going to be pounding the Commanders, and Vegas covers and makes a whole bunch of money. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, a couple more before we take our commercial break here. Don't forget, if you have oh, look at that, a subscription gifted by Mental Health Guy. Appreciate you. Man, dude comes in and supports the channel all the time. We appreciate that. Even though Sterls has shit all over his beard, he appreciates it too.
I know, right? It's breakfast time, buddy.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just letting you know you got shit. you got shit.
I like it like that.
The flavor saver. Thank you for the gifted sub, mental health guy. Please like, subscribe, follow wherever you are. Go find Sterls on social media. Give him some follows too. And like we said, he does Buffalo post game. If you really want to get in there and be a dick, you can go right into his post game show and get him while he's raw after the game. All right. Cowboys at Panthers. Cowboys laying 10.5 points. The superheroes of playing bad teams. God, this is why I have my rule, because I want to take the Cowboys right now, but
hold on. So I just took those 5 bets we just made.
Yeah.
I put them in a parlay. Okay, so now I'm starting my second 5 with these next games.
Of course you did. Okay.
All right. Let me place that bet.
So I'm taking Panthers plus 10.5. Yes, Gabs, I agree with you. The Cowboys love to demolish bad teams. I don't know. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, and I think they got a good matchup, don't they? Do you know what the Cowboys Thanksgiving game is?
I'll tell you here. Give me a second here while I pull this up.
Commanders, not great. Not great at all.
Oh yeah, the Commanders. Hey, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'll at least be entertaining.
Shouldn't scare you,
but it shouldn't scare you. Yeah, I think is right. I'm taking Panthers plus 10.5 because that's my rule. So, give me the 10.5 points and let's ride.
Oh man, you're gonna take the Panthers on that?
Yep.
So you like what you've seen from Bryce Young in the past few weeks to put your money right there?
No, I don't. But I think one of the big advantages of having a young rookie quarterback is that you can look at it and say the 1-8 doesn't really matter. Like, what are you seeing? Are you learning how to read NFL defenses? Are you starting to figure it out in 10 weeks into the season? Okay. That's when I would expect changes to start happening. That's when I would expect you to start taking those mental steps forward. I don't think the Cowboys defense is particularly good. No Leighton Vander Esch, no Trayvon Diggs. You know what I mean? Like, I just think
right.
I just think their their defense is very pedestrian. And sure, their offense can outscore people with the best of them, but it's when they decide to show up. So I'll take the 10.5 points and take 2 scores and take my chances.
Oh man, that's enticing.
You're gonna take the Cowboys. Don't act like you're gonna take the Panthers.
No. I mean, listen. The thing with the Cowboys is, like, they are the premier Jekyll and Hyde football team in the NFL. Like, one week they look great, the next week you're like, what in the hell happened?
Yep.
Like, the level of consistency is not there, right? It's just hard to predict what the Cowboys are going to do. I mean, you look at Dak Prescott this season, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's having a good year statistically. CeeDee Lamb has kind of stepped into that number 1 wide receiver role. He's looking pretty decent, had some pretty good games as of late. But the problem with the Cowboys is the lack of run game. They got to get better on the ground. And
who would have thought we'd be talking about them missing Ezekiel Elliott?
Right. I mean, because he was their short yardage guy.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job at that. So when I look at the Panthers, they got Derek Brown and Brian Burns. They're stout in the front 7. At least their defensive line is pretty decent, right?
I agree.
So I don't know, man. This sucks. I guess I'll take the Cowboys.
I know you're going to take the Cowboys. Take the Cowboys. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys here.
It's fine. David says, sorry, I'm late, boys. David, you missed about 35 minutes of straight Bills talk.
Yeah.
As all our regulars in here were after the Buffalo Bills. And I think you personally would have enjoyed it because,
The real question is, did he get the job?
Oh, he got the job.
And didn't tell me?
The question is, which one is he going to take? That's the question. Because everybody wants a piece of my boy.
Yeah, he ain't telling me nothing. So fuck him right now.
Because, well, actually, he was supposed to make a decision a day or two ago. So now we're just airing
David, text me.
Now we're just airing all his dirty laundry all over.
Right. That's what you get when you come in here late on us. That's what you get.
But hey, listen, Mr. Vegas, I'm not telling you what her name was.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
So air the laundry, bro. I mean, like, are we doing this or are we not doing this?
You'd be surprised if I told you.
It's a guy's name?
Come on.
Good
now.
for you,
Don't
man.
be like that, bro.
Good for you,
Come
man. I'm glad you're expanding your horizons. All right, we're gonna. Oh, no decision made yet. They extended it. See, that's why he hasn't told you. All right, we're gonna take our commercial break here. We're mostly through the morning games. There's a couple left, but there's a very small amount of afternoon games. So we'll take our commercial break here. Gonna run ads for a few minutes, turn off pre-roll, and then we will be right back. If you're a subscriber or on YouTube, you'll get to hang out and watch our commercial question. Otherwise, we will tell you what it is on the other side. All right.
I got
Sterls.
one. I got one.
We got two that we got to get to. First of all, I just need your take on last week's. If you had to pick one for forever, you have to let one of these be part of your life forever.
Okay.
No taste, no hair, no music, or no blankets. Which one are you picking? And hair includes your beard, by the way.
Oh, hair.
You're saying no hair?
Yeah.
You're gonna give up the beard for the rest of your life?
Oh, boy. My face is good. So
Oh, okay.
I give up the beard.
Okay, all right.
I give up the no hair.
Okay. All right. I feel like for men, yeah, and David says no hair easy. I feel like for men who already don't have hair, picking no hair is very easy.
I mean, you got a nice head of hair over there.
She's starting to go a little bit, but that's fine. I'm getting old, whatever. My answer is no taste. And
No taste.
Here's why. 'Cause if the shitty food that I eat doesn't taste good to me anymore, and the good food that I eat doesn't taste bad to me anymore, your boy's running around with a 6-pack. Like I am absolutely fit as fuck. So my answer.
You're robbing yourself of life. I mean, I get the hair. I'm good.
I can't go without blankets. My hair is my only redeeming quality as an attractive male, and I can't go without music. The no blanket thing is crazy to me. There's no way I could do it. A couple people picked no blankets. There's no way I could do it. There's no way I could do it. Gab says this is a terrible take. Sorry, Rob. Well, what? Then pick one, Gabs. All right. What's your question?
So, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Turkey Day. Would
Mm-hmm.
you rather have pecan pie or sweet potato pie?
Neither.
You are a serial killer. You're a serial killer for that.
Neither.
Come on.
Sweet potato pie? Come on. Brother, listen. There are a whole bunch of better pie.
Buddy, come on now.
David says, can't taste the kitty. I'm out.
Facts, bro.
It's a great point. That's a fantastic
Yeah.
point. But I said, well, no, I did say no taste. I was only thinking food. That's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah, man. Would you change your answer now or what?
Dude, pecan pie? No, I wouldn't.
You're so
lame. Pecan pie, I tried once as a kid, didn't like, and haven't tried again. I might like it now.
See, that's a problem.
I might like it now.
Because you let white people make it.
Wow. You literally just slammed David's girlfriend
true.
right. You just bodied David's girlfriend right in front of him.
It's true. I mean, listen, black folks make the best pecan pie. Like, it ain't, I'm just telling you. You ain't had no good one yet.
All right.
Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. I'm just saying.
I mean, he literally put Hannah makes a bourbon chocolate pecan pie.
I can't see that comment.
And
Dave
yes,
knows I'm right. Dave knows I'm right. So stop.
To be completely truthful, I've never had sweet potato pie.
Okay.
So I'm not here to cast judgment. My answer is neither.
I'm not here to cast judgment.
The commercial question of the day with Thanksgiving coming up: pecan pie or sweet potato pie? This question posed by Sterls. So if you've got a take on that, feel free to drop in the comments. My answer is neither because
you can't go neither. You can't go Switzerland.
No, I'm
Which
literally going Switzerland.
God, you just.
What's your pick?
Pecan pie.
Okay, then I'll pick sweet potato pie.
Okay, great. I knew you'd do that.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to be different, bro. Tell me why pecan pie.
It's just ooey gooey deliciousness. Oh, when it's hot, you
bro,
put a little vanilla bean ice cream on top of that thing.
It doesn't bother you.
Oh, but you can't. You don't want to taste nothing, so you'll eat seaweed pie and whatever.
It don't
Dirt
bother
pie.
It don't bother you that you're like liquefying something that was solid. like pecans are crunchy nuts, and you
sound like a serial killer right now.
Turn them into
you were
mush,
deprived
bro.
as a baby.
Like, you want your baby food? Is that what you want?
Your mom gave you diet formula milk, didn't she?
You want your shit pureed so you can eat it without your teeth, bro? Like, I don't know. What are we talking about here?
You had 0-calorie formula as a kid. As a baby.
I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. I get on my mom for spreadable meat too. Have you ever had spreadable meat?
Buddy.
Liverwurst. That's her go-to.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Liverwurst.
What the hell is that?
It is spreadable meat.
Is it red?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. I gotta look this up.
Brother, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Liverwurst. And I gave my mom such a hard time. Yeah, I gave my mom such a hard time for it because I'm like, meat should not be spreadable. That's all I'm going to say about that.
What the hell is this?
I feel the same way about your pecan pie.
It looks like it smells like ass.
It does. And I feel the same way about your pecan pie.
This looks like something that a cat would love.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's dog food. That's 100% right.
Dog. No, you got me messed up, bruh.
I'm just waiting for David to come in and tell me how distinguished and delicious liverwurst is.
I know, right? Well, anything Dave makes is like exquisite and 5 stars. So like he could turn liverwurst into a delicacy.
I know, and his refined palate, of course, appreciates the liverwurst when we would not.
This man takes a bite of something and will take a drink of whatever to clean his palate for the next hors d'oeuvre.
That's right. Before he gets to fucking nachos that are on the. Okay. All right. Titans and Jaguars. Titans getting 6.5 points. This feels like a revenge game for the Jaguars to me. I don't think Will Levis is anything special. He was fun for 2 weeks, but I don't think he's lifting the Titans to any kind of anything here. I will lay the 6.5 points and take the Jaguars.
Ooh. But listen, you know this Tennessee Titans team,
I'm not
if they're anything, they're gritty, right? Like they are a tough football team who's deprived of talent. And when you look at the Jaguars here, like what do they bring to the table this week that you say, you know what? I'll sign up for that. Trevor Lawrence.
What's up,
9
Kidder?
touchdowns, 6 picks this year. Now,
what's up? Kidder96 jumps in and says, my local CBS station will air that game. I feel bad for you that you have to watch that game.
Take a nap. Take a damn nap.
And David also says, damn right, sorry y'all ain't classy. So about the liverwurst. Disgusting. Okay, go ahead. So, Trevor Lawrence, listen, he hasn't played great, but I still believe in him. They are 6-3. They played a really good Niners team last week. Like, I'm not worried about the Jaguars.
No, but I think the margin is 3 points versus 6. It's a divisional game, so those are tough. Give me the Titans.
He's taking the points. I think the luster on, hey, Will Levis could be good is gone. I think they traded away a couple defensive players, and I think the Jaguars got punked last week. And I think they're going to need to and want to make that right. Yeah, I'll take the Jags. I'll lay the points. So we can be diametrically opposed on that one. All right, Cardinals at Texans. Listen, I think the Cardinals are your value in the league right now. That was a gritty team that was playing well. If you watched them play, you felt like there was something there, and they just couldn't score enough points to quite get over the hump in some of their games. Well, now they're getting 6 points with Kyler Murray back at Houston. And to me, it just feels like the Cardinals feel like a team that's disrespected because of their record. And like, you got to take into account that this quarterback that's coming back, I know everybody wants to make the freaking Call of Duty jokes and whatever. The dude was 7-0 or 8-1 or some shit like that, like a year ago, 2 years ago. So, like, give him the proper respect for the caliber of his. Ain't Tommy DeVito is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So, I'll take the Cardinals and I'll take the 6. And that doesn't mean I don't think the Texans win this game, but the Texans, like, it's been C.J. Stroud pulling rabbits out of hats. They're not killing people, so I'll take the 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans have won their last 2 games by a margin of 5 points total. Okay, so give me the Cardinals here, man. For a guy that's been on the couch for pretty much for an entire football season, last year and this year, I mean, for Kyler Murray to come out with 19 and 32, 249 and a pick and a win, like, that's a pretty good debut if you ask me. I watched some of that game, and some of the throws he was making is like, oh yeah, like that dude can play. You know what I'm saying? So I like Kyler Murray in this game. CJ Stroud's still a rookie. I just don't think you can keep up the pace that he's had. I mean, he's gonna have a down game, right? So I expect that to be this week.
But even if he has good games, they're winning by a point.
Sure.
They're winning on a last-second field goal. So, I mean, I'll take the 6 and take my chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Is this our first afternoon game? It sure is. Our first afternoon game is Bucks and 49ers. Bucks getting 13.5 points, which means, I have to take the Bucks. And I don't want to. I can tell you all the reasons why I would take the 49ers in this game, but instead I'll be taking the Bucks. My answer to you is, I don't know, Baker Mayfield goes off every once in a while. Vita Vea's back in the middle of that defense. You would have to say, I hope we're going to contain Christian McCaffrey, and you're going to make Brock Purdy try to beat you instead of let that run game beat you, and the Bucks keep it close, and that's the best I can do for why I'm taking the Bucks and the 13 points.
So right now, the Bucks, in terms of defense, they're ranked 6th in the league. It's stopping the run. Vita Vea's there, so we know that if they can, they're not going to stop McCaffrey, but if they can limit him, they got a shot. And we're talking 13.5 points in this game.
13.5. Yep.
Yeah, give me the Bucks here. I think they can limit McCaffrey on the ground, which will make Brock Purdy have to make plays, right? Now, if he's in rhythm, he's a good quarterback. But I think once you're able to take away that first read and kind of make him go through his progressions consistently, you're going to turn those drives into 8, 9, 10 play drives, right? Keep making him make plays. And I don't know if he can continually do that throughout the game enough to keep those guys 14, that they're 14 points better than the Bucks. So I'll take the Bucks with the 14.
Shut
here.
up! What are you doing? God, you're supposed to be the one that takes the team that's very clearly going to win this game, and I'm supposed to be the one that takes a chance on taking the points. All right, let's go back to the Houston game. Gabs, the perennial CJ Stroud hater. Um, he's in a division with him. He doesn't want him to be good. He said he already has had bad games. As I said before, he gets away with a lot of picks per PFF, the same amount of turnover-worthy plays as Josh Allen.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Turnover-worthy plays. That is a stat made up by uber fucking nerds. You gotta stop it. Stop it. Turnover-worthy plays is about as realistic as Voldemort coming and killing the president. Stop it. I hate that stat. It's fucking dumb.
I will, as the more analytics-leaning person here, defend it a little bit, but I will just say turnover-worthy plays
Are not turnovers.
means you're taking chances. And the worst thing, like there's two types of quarterbacks in this league, right? There's Brock Purdy running the 49ers. And you look at him and you say, don't take any unnecessary chances. Your turnover worthy plays should be 0. Then you have teams like the Texans and the Bills who need their quarterback to be really good. And so you know what? You want those guys to make turnover-worthy plays because you want them trying to squeeze the ball in places. You want them doing crazy things. So turnover-worthy plays, I think, speaks more to the overall talent of the team than who the quarterback is. That's all. I don't think that there's a ton of talent on that Texans team. And so CJ Stroud has to take more chances if they're going to win games. And guess what? They're 5-5. It's worked. So I just wanted to address that. Milkman about his 49ers, of course, says Nick Bosa and Chase Young is all I got to say. Great defensive line. No doubt about it. I have no qualms with you telling me that their defensive line is great or going to be great. We were just making arguments for the Buccaneers keeping it within 2 touchdowns. So there you go. All right. Let's get spicy. Jets and Bills. A late kickoff game, which means the Ralph is going to be absolutely crazy. Jets getting 8.5 points. I would lay it. Yeah. Yeah, I see that little smile creeping on your face. I would lay it. Zach Wilson is a disaster. I think the Bills' defense is going to make him look like a disaster. I love over 39.5 points because I think the Bills are going to score them all. And if Joe Brady just doesn't fuck it up, that's all he's got to do. In his new position as offensive coordinator, you've got an angry Josh Allen. I guarantee you he was sending text to Ken Dorsey saying, I'm sorry, my bad. Guarantee it. So you're going to have an angry Josh Allen come out today. An emotional Josh Allen isn't always a good thing. I think it will be in this case. I'll take the Bills and I'll lay the points. But I will tell you, and I always preface with this, Bills are my team. I don't actually bet on them because I feel like I watch through rose-colored glasses. So I don't actually bet Bills games. So take or leave what I'm saying, but that's what I think.
I'm going to take the Jets at 8.5 on this one. I love everything you just said. But Josh hasn't done shit against the Jets defense in a while. And
you don't think he knows that?
I think this will be the game where, as an offense, they try to figure it out with Joe Brady. But next week, I think that's where it's going to start clicking. So I'm going to give them a week to kind of figure things out. I think they squeak by in this one, to the tune of like 21, 21-13, 21-16 kind of game. For some reason, Zach Wilson plays his best when he plays against the Bills.
I don't know if that's true.
Also, the Bills aren't good at stopping the run. So you're going to see a lot of Breece Hall today. The Bills are still one of the top teams in missed tackles, and I think he's going to bust a big one.
It's probably a fair guess.
right?
I
So
don't think he busts a big touchdown run because I think our safeties are too good for that. But I think he's going to have a couple big runs, no doubt.
we'll see.
All right, a couple comments that we need to get to here. First, Sterls needs to realize that regression to the mean always going to happen. And the same way the Bills' offense will be fine later, the Texans' offense will not be getting away with bad throws as much. Yeah, I was going to let you. It went at you directly, so go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I've done anything here today is preach balance. So I'm a firm believer in that. The Bills offense, I mean, I think they'll. I mean, it's one of those things where like it's hard to not. You look at them with rose-colored glasses because you know the potential that the offense has. They just haven't lived up to it all but one game, right? Um, So we'll see. I think that the book is not written yet on Josh Allen in this Bills offense. I think they're eventually gonna click. They're gonna start, putting up points, and then we'll see from there. The Texans. I like everything they're doing with a rookie head coach. I mean, just the fact that they're scoring like they are. When teams start actually game planning for CJ Stroud, he'll come back to reality. To maybe that's next season, right? But right now, I want to believe in something fun, and that's the Texans for me. You know what
My
I'm saying?
answer,
Like I
my
love it.
my answer to Gabs is there could be a regression to the mean. We don't know what the mean is. You're trying to argue that your turnover worthy plays point to the fact that the mean is that he's going to start getting worse. And CJ Stroud is in his rookie year as an NFL quarterback. D'Amico Ryans is in his rookie year as an NFL coach, and the team is very young around them. We don't know what the mean is. So, yes, when we talk about the Bills, we can talk about them regressing to the mean, and that means that they'll get better because they've proved it over 5 years. But we don't know what the mean for CJ Stroud is, would be my answer to that. And I don't think that your stat from PFF necessarily points to what it is. It could, but I don't think it's for sure.
I like PFF. I just think that man, you gotta people put so much stock into that, and I think there's analytics and there's football, right? And I think so much this year has been about analytics. I think football is going to start taking over.
That's interesting. Has it gone? Has the pendulum swung too far in one direction? It's kind of what you're saying.
This season it has. I mean, you're seeing a lot of outliers. You're seeing quarterbacks who aren't necessarily top tier, average, put up numbers, whereas your top guys are kind of struggling to a degree because of the way teams are playing them. So yeah, so what that means is people are going to point to a lot of analytics to say that Mahomes and Allen and all these guys are regressing. Okay, but there's football and other variables that you have to take into consideration. Context and all this stuff matters, not just numbers, is what I'm trying to say.
And then a question that I actually like from Milkman. And he's asking it because he wants the most chaotic answer that he can get. But I think it's a good question regardless of the reason that he asked it. Serious question. What happens if the Bills lose this game? Like, how would you react?
I wouldn't be surprised, um, because they haven't shown consistency. And if they were to lose this game, it's because they're not showing consistency. So there's not a team that the Bills could lose to this season, that lose to the Broncos last week. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because they shown me what they are this year, right? So far, they're an inconsistent, injury-ridden football team with no chemistry on offense. So if they lose this game, hell, you lost to the Jets the first game of the season. Like okay, like I'm not gonna be emotional about it.
For me, the answer depends on how they lose this game. If they lose this game and don't look like the better team the whole time, my answer to you is that they're broken. That they've finally broken under the weight of the expectations that they had, and that all of this firing people, them playing poorly, it's finally gotten to them mentally. If they lose a game like they lost to the Broncos last week, I'm going to just be like, man, this is just a terrible luck season. Because that game versus the Broncos was a terrible luck game.
Yeah, it was.
And, you know, the Bills had 4 turnovers. Broncos scored, I think, 9 points total off of it.
Yeah.
If you take away one of those field goals and put up a touchdown for the Bills instead, they win. So don't lose the turnover margin by 4. You know what I mean? So if the Bills lose this game, listen, they're in tough as it is, but you know, it just depends if they're broken mentally or not, and I don't think they are yet. But if they are, then the season's shot. If they start feeling sorry for themselves and are sad that Dorsey got fired and all that, then they're shot. Then it's over. So
yeah, yep.
Who gonna get fired if they do lose? If
Nobody.
I was gonna say if they lose a bunch, McDermott might get fired, but I find that as a very distant.
He's got another season. He got another season. If he has a poor season next year, he's getting canned.
I think it's going to get real loud if he continues on this path this season. And then Gab says if the Bills lose this game, the division is over for them. That's probably true. It's probably an easy pick there.
Yep.
All right, Seahawks at Rams. This is our last afternoon game. Seahawks getting 1.5 points. This game scares the shit out of me. What the fuck does Vegas know that I don't know? Matt Stafford coming back and playing, I don't think makes the Rams a 1.5 point favorite at home.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I like the Seahawks here.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, that one kind of took me for a tizzy on that one. I don't know why the Seahawks aren't favored.
Vegas
I know
knows
they
something.
Put up they do. They always do.
Vegas.
Don't they?
I mean, when you look at a line and go, "That's not right," it's probably because that's not right. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take the Seahawks money line. I would take the Seahawks plus the points, but I'll take the better odds and just take them to win outright. But I don't think Matt Stafford coming back changes that offense so much that the Seahawks are going to be outclassed here.
Right.
So give me Geno Smith. Give me them running the ball. What do you do against effective pass rushers? You run the ball right at them. And the Seahawks can do that. So I'll take the Seahawks to win in L.A. as the Rams try to salvage their season.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Vikings and Broncos, Sunday night football game right here in the Mile High City. Vikings getting 2.5 points with the Pastronaut, Joshua Dobbs. You haven't been here the past couple weeks. I am such a huge fan of Josh Dobbs. So much fun. It's a great story. Hard not to root for.
Right.
And I'll take the Broncos.
Same here. I like the Broncos defense, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tall order to ask Josh Dobbs to come in and win again. You know, like it's a good story. I love Josh Dobbs, but man, the Broncos have an opportunity to like turn the season around. Do it. Win.
And I think there's a lot of belief in that locker room. I think you're starting to see the talent that some of us thought that they had shine through. And what I mean by that is I think they've figured out their pass rushing situation. And, you know, we were watching their pass rushers in the preseason and saying, man, they got a ton of good depth at pass rusher. And if they can get Frank Clark and Randy Gregory to give them a year of consistency between the two of them, like 16 games of consistency between the two of them, they're going to have a really good pass rush. Turns out that wasn't the answer. Turns out the answer was get rid of both of them and let the 3 other
Yeah.
guys go to work. And so when you
Mhm.
have a pass rush like that and you have a corner that can shut down half of the field and you have a safety who can be that guy in the back who's making up for any other mistakes, you need a decent guy on the other side. Hello, Jaquan McMillan. And you need your linebackers to play average. And the Broncos have all of that.
Yep.
So I really like the Broncos. I think the Vikings, I think they're going to figure it out, straighten it up, and still make the playoffs. Hell of a turnaround coming back from 1-4. Are the current 7 playoff teams in the NFC already set? That's a great question. Let's take a look here. I don't have the standings up in front of me right now. Vikings.
I can pull them up.
I'm pulling them up too. Vikings, I do think are going to end up being a playoff team. So let's see what we got right now. Right now we got Eagles 1, Lions 2, Niners 3, New Orleans 4, Seattle 5, Dallas 6, Minnesota 7. And Minnesota has a 1.5 lead on the number 8 Tampa Bay Bucks. I would say no. And the only reason I would say no is because I don't think the Saints make it.
Yeah.
But
The
that
Saints are,
the NFC South is disgusting and a mess. I think the Saints are trash. I think their defense is good, but their offense is. I mean, I love Chris Olave, and that's all I'll say about that.
I think the Bucks will win that division.
I don't know who's going to win that division, but I just don't think it's over yet. So I don't think the 7 teams are set. I'll tell you this. I think the 3 wild card teams are set, which I kind of think is what you were pointing to. I do think it's going to be Seattle, Dallas, and Minnesota. I think San Francisco finds a way to win the West. And I think it's going to be tough for them to end up with the 2 seed, but I'll be impressed if they do. But yeah, so I think 6 of the 7 teams are set, and I think the NFC South doesn't count and is a mess. That's my answer to you. Okay, yeah. So both on the Vikings or the Broncos minus 2.5 points. Should be a fun Sunday nighter. When I first saw it, I was kind of not excited, to be honest, but it's turned into kind of a fun matchup. And then the matchup of the week. We don't normally spend a ton of time talking about Monday Night Football, but let's give it a couple minutes here because it is a Super Bowl rematch. The 8-1 Philadelphia Eagles travel to Arrowhead to play the 7-2 Chiefs, and I just want to know how the Chiefs get all these games in Arrowhead. That's what I want to know.
Because
every time
Taylor
the Chiefs
Swift
play,
orchestrated it.
Yeah, like every time the Chiefs play somebody tough, guess what? It's in Arrowhead.
And Arrowhead.
Fucking ridiculous, man. All the times they played the Bills over the years, all the times they played the Bengals, they're always fucking in Arrowhead. It drives me crazy. Eagles getting 2.5 points in this matchup. Go ahead, Sterls. I'll give you the floor.
I think that the Eagles will win this game just because I feel like they're going to control the game at the line of scrimmage. We have yet to see Patrick Mahomes like dominate and get off this year. I'm not saying it's not going to happen at some point this season, but I think this is the game where I like the Eagles defense. Kevin Byard is starting to look good in that defense. But their defensive line is just really stout. Offensive line is really good. If they can control the game on the ground, I like their chances. Now on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs they're playing really, really well. One of the statistically better defenses in the league this season. I just when it comes to who's gonna stop AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I think that's gonna be where I tip toward the Eagles.
I hate that you made the 2 points that I was going to make about this football game.
I mean, it's not hard.
No, it's not. And that's kind of the point here is that the Eagles can control both lines of scrimmage. I think that's right. And I think that will help. And that was one of the things I was going to point out, but then you pointed it out, and I said, okay, well, I'll just make my second point, which is, here we go. Nick Jones, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Keith Taylor, Jalen Watson, and Joshua Williams.
Yeah.
Which one of them is stopping A.J. Brown? Which one of them is stopping Devonta Smith? And you got to find a different guy to put on Dallas Goedert. So, I just think that the Eagles' talent offensively is such a mismatch for them. And that defense has played really well this year. I just don't think you have anybody that can shut one of those guys down.
Sure.
So it's going to be all about if Jalen Hurts can be good enough to make that difference matter. But I really like the Eagles, and I love that I'm getting 2.5 points when I'm doing it. You want to make a case for the Chiefs since we're both talking shit about them right now?
I mean,
is there a case to be made there? Can we play devil's advocate?
Mahomes.
Right.
If Travis Kelce can have a good game, I mean, you can never count him out. I mean, like I said, they're one of the better defenses in the league, right? You're gonna need Jalen Hurts to make a lot of big boy throws. That I think he's not all the way there when it comes to making big boy throws consistently, right? Because typically they have a lot going right for them. I mean, you can never count out Mahomes. Let's be real. Like, the dude could just pop off. Even what's that big ass tight end they got? Peyton Watson. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
That dude could play, man.
Peyton Watson is a nugget. Peyton Watson's a nugget.
What's that guy's name?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Number 84. You can play.
You're gonna make me reopen a tab here.
Oh, I can pull it up. It's fine. Fucking Watson. What's that guy's name?
Well, so the case that I would make.
Justin Watson, wide receiver.
Justin Watson. The case that I would make, and I know this sounds stupid, but we were talking about it earlier. We were talking about belief earlier and what it does to people. And culture and momentum, I think they're all just code words for belief. Culture is belief in the franchise long term, and momentum is belief in the team inside of a game.
Right.
And I think that the mentality matters. Everybody believes in Patrick Mahomes. It makes it very easy. And this is going to sound funny, but we talked about this. We talked about this before. The whole Taylor Swift thing. I don't think it has a net zero effect, because I don't care how big your dick is. If you pull the most eligible billionaire on the planet to be your girlfriend, and she's coming to the game to watch it with your parents, and her parents are meeting your parents. Yeah, I think when they put up the Taylor Swift numbers and non-Taylor Swift numbers for Kelce, I think part of it's bullshit. But I also think part of that is like the dude feels like a little extra swag when he comes into those games, because could you not? Right? Like, how could you not? Fucking my dick swinging around. Everybody's impressed with what I just pulled off here. So
the fact that he's set for life. He's set for life.
If he finishes the job.
In his dating world, in his dating life, he's set for life.
If he finishes the job, yes. But he's got to finish the job. But sure. I'm just saying, he seems to have her all twisted up right now, and I just don't think it's nothing, right? I think that swagger, that belief in yourself when you walk in, it matters. And we all know that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes can win a game by themselves.
Right.
It don't even matter what the rest of that team does. The two of them can win a game by themselves. So there you go. There's a case for the Kansas City Chiefs. That one's going to be fun. I will do a watch along for that. So if you feel like popping in and doing a watch along, feel free. That goes for you too, Sterls.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. I didn't like that look on your face.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow holds yet.
I didn't like the look on your face when you said that. Made me upset. We appreciate everybody for coming in, hanging out for your NFL pregame show. Hopefully we got you guys some bets you feel good about. I don't feel good about any of mine. I had to take 3 10-point dogs. I had to use my rule 3 times today. That's not
You'll
good.
Be all right.
That's
You'll
not
be all right.
That ain't good, bro.
You're gonna win today, buddy.
That ain't good, bro. We will talk about the disaster that was our picks next week, of course. So make sure you join back in. Like, subscribe, follow, give us some love. You know what I mean? Like, we appreciate y'all, but we want you around all the time, not just some of the time. So give us some of those subscriptions and shit, and come back and hang out with us. And that's it. You got anything else, Sterls?
Go Bills today. We need it today.
I like that. I like that idea.
We need it.
I like that idea. I'm okay with that happening. I could live with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go put on the jersey. I'm gonna go put my Bills jersey on here in a little bit.
You gonna come down to the bar?
No.
Come on, we go down and we just laugh about it.
My man over here has he got basketball practice during the game. So his practice is at 4:00. Game's at 2:25.
Oof.
So it's gonna be too much.
Tell him we gotta have a talk with his coach.
Right? Like, you don't plan your Sundays around the Bills, like, that's a problem.
Yeah, like, what the hell are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing?
Nah, no bar for me today.
All right. Well, appreciate you all. Enjoy your NFL football Sunday, and as always, you can hit us up on Twitter and talk shit to us about what's happening with the Bills, because I know that's exactly what's going to happen. So go ahead. I'm fine with it. I'm going to rage all out. I appreciate everybody for watching. Have a good weekend, okay?
Go Bills.